Many of us will not be recognized by history. We may be rich, we may have everything, we may have good homes, but if we are able to let our children starve, have our women who are giving birth die as if there's nothing that matters, get our children to go to school, parents selling their land and raising money through Harambe, which then becomes a corrupt mechanism. And these children, once they're finishing from school, you then get out here and find there's nothing. States are not run like that. A state must be able to carry its people, all sectors, make sure that we are able to think through what are we going to do to take care of the Gen Z. Don't tell me that you want young men to go to Germany and Britain, and that is the only excuse you've got, and those are the jobs you're creating. I lived in America.
Lakini we mheshimiwa, just hold on mheshimiwa. Yes. Unajua we unaongea poa, unaongea vizuri, nini, lakini nyinyi mkiingia huko kwa parliament, amuongei hizi vitu. Kwa mfano, right now counties are very corrupt.
Yes.
Kuna county nyingine huko Western inaitwa Bungoma. Ilinunua flowers za 149 million. Mimi sijasikia senator yote akiongelea. Huko Nakuru nasikia kuna wizi. In fact, if you are from Nakuru, I'm told in the next 5 years mtashindwa pahali pa kuishi. Mbona nyinyi senators amuongelee hii story? Mnakuja kuongelea kwa space, unaongea vizuri, lakini mkiingia kwa bunge amuongei. You are not talking when you are in the chambers.
Can I respond?
Yeah, go on.
Please go and listen to my clip when I was talking about what happened in Bungoma. It's on classical radio. I talked about it. I'm the one who raised the issue. I'm the one who raised the issue of the airport. I am the one who has been raising alone, singularly, and my brother Sifuna, Umtata, and the other teams who realized we're going the wrong way. Go and look at the clips I have spoken in the last 5 years. I started talking about corruption. I have talked about CDF, how it has done some good work, but most of the time it is abused and misused. I'm the one who has talked about why are we giving 70 billion to the government apparatchiks, where they share the money and pretend like they are giving this money to poor people. You go. I have been talking about these issues, and I don't give myself credit. It is simply because I am simply telling it the way it is. And I've said, I know the risks, I know the challenges. By the way, I don't have to run for any political office after this. I am where I never thought I would be. And that is, I'll continue saying the truth. I'll have people who are going to be insulting, those who will doubt whether I believe in it. I'll tell you this, nobody believed in Martin Luther King talking about the emancipation of the Black community in America until he made his speech in Washington, D.C.
So in your capacity, what are you doing to advance the demands of the Gen Z protest? Wewe in your capacity unafanya nini?
Thank you. My job is as a senator. I cannot carry a gun and go and kill anybody who has stolen public money. I am willing to engage with Sifuna, engage with my brother Umtata, engage with all the people who are Selassie, so that we can use the law that we have to start changing. We can go to the Senate and bring in a petition where we're demanding that the government provides free education from primary school to secondary school up to university. Don't ask me why I didn't do it before. Most probably I didn't think about it. I am now thinking about it. We are going to get the ESCC. We are going to challenge the president if he's willing to listen, or anybody who works with him. We must clean out the way we are fighting corruption without being vindictive, without attacking our political enemies. If somebody has broken the law, let him face the law and go through the process. We are going to demand that county governments are given their money and they're given their resources, but they must stop the stealing that is going on, because they're disenfranchising our poor people. Kids are running away from the county governments, and yet the amounts of money that we're giving the county governments are mind-boggling, and the corruption engaged is crazy. So some of us are trying our best. I really hope that you guys will be encouraging us and not criticizing how we've messed it before. The truth is, some of us never saw it before.
The issue of ID cards, right now, ID cards, I'm told they're supposed to expire. Of course, that could be beyond your jurisdiction as a senator. Then there's a petition you raised. You asked some questions from the Senate. You had written a petition about the JKI East. Wamekuambia nini na inatusaidia aje? Because unajua kitu ya airport ni kitu serious. Hatutaki tuamke kesho tuambiwe airport imeshachukuliwa.
Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to say that, first of all, I thank whoever that gave me that information. And it was a young man, Amenya, I think you know him, he lives in France. I mention his name because it's already in public. He sent me the message. It was one of the most difficult things I had to do because I looked, I checked, I saw who handles this, and some of those people are my friends. I decided to raise it because I knew that the implication of us allowing all our airports to be controlled by foreigners, first of all, it will be against the law. Number two, the committee where I sat, where I had a friend who then told me what they had discussed is that we will not, under IPPGs, allow our airports or even the port of Mombasa to be given out. So when I saw this information and I looked at the evidence provided, I said, I can take the risk and I can fall with it if it is not true. Fortunately, everything I said is true. Fortunately, I'm waiting for the Committee of Kenya Airports Authority to come to the Senate within the next 1 week. I want them to come and give us the agreements they have signed with whoever that they have signed with. And I can tell you, even if you ask Honorable Mtata, we will fight like hell to make sure that the airports are not sold, the port of Mombasa is not sold. And the issue you're talking about, minerals, let me say something here so that Kenyans are aware. All your oil in Turkana County, your big leadership and the big boys in the system went and bought blocks where the oil is. That's why you can't export the oil unless that system is dismantled. There's nothing we can do. So this is the time for us to start dismantling such nonsense where 10, 15 individuals go and allocate themselves 500,000 acres of land where the oil is, and they're trying to make money out of it. I thank the people of Turkana, especially even when some of the politicians are not very good. Some of the Turkana leadership is the one which said, you cannot mine our oil, and yet you don't give us what the Constitution talks about. These are the issues that are outstanding in our country. And I want you guys to be the last line of defense. Don't give up, because this country has everything to be shared equitably, fairly, and everybody will be happy. And we leave that for our children, your children, and other grandchildren.
Wakenya, wananchi, this is your space. Ask for that mic. We really need to put these politicians on the edge. This is our space. Ebu itisheni mic, muulize maswali. We want answers to whatever is happening to this country because it's very serious. Lewis, do you think we should recall these politicians? Yes, Polo.
I want to ask Salasia nataka tu kumuuliza swali moja. Salasia, unajua vitu inafanyika Kakamega ama ujui ama mnajifanya tu amzioni because you are going to say it's the big boys who are playing this game so you can't do anything. Are you aware or you are not aware? Please answer that as we continue.
But I want to thank the convener of the platform today. Number one, I've heard what Senator Tata has just said, and one thing I've just noted is that the issue to do with the mineral is a matter that needs to be addressed with a lot of seriousness. And the reason being is that we do not have serious legal framework that guides anything to do touching on the natural resources of this country. I remember last time when I went to Nigeria, and Nigerian people were crying that the 1 liter of fuel, it was going at 25. But when the Tinubu or whoever came in, the president, he went to 50 shillings per liter. And there was outcry in the entire when I was in Nigeria last year. And that one tells you that because they have the natural resources and it is benefiting the entire country. And looking at this and taking it as an example, you see that we have a lot of natural resources. As a good example is we have the gold mine that we are having here in Kakamega County. You realize that from since independence, there has been no clear, and that's why you find that most of the people have been dying there because there's no technology inside there. Look like today, if you are producing, you're lucky you've gotten the gold. You have to go, your soil or whatever has to be taken to Siaya to be so that it can be I don't know the word to call, to be refined or so that it can be able to know if there is gold or no. So you find like you take your gold, it goes to the other side. You don't know how, whether it is a soil or it was pure, whatever. There's no marketing structure, so there's no regulation on prices and all that.
Mr. Peter,
And I think that
unatupea
yes,
story mob
yes.
sana. I just asked you, are you aware that the people of Ikolomani are being asked to move from their ancestral lands because the Chinese who have gotten those tenders of mining this gold want to mine this gold, regardless of whether the people will accept or not? Are you aware of that?
Yes, I'm aware, but that's why I'm saying it's a very also good example. Like we must have the legal frameworks that should be guiding, because those who are the genuine people who have been staying there for some time. But also there's an issue that Senator Onyonka has just said, that you find when people realizes that there is mineral, they go and buy the land and starts to frustrate the whole process. The same thing is also happening with the clinker in Kajiado, that you find like the entire block of clinker, that is the main component of producing cement, is only benefiting. It has been monopolized to benefit only DEFCI. And that is why you realize that despite the fact that we have the natural resources of clinker, which could have dropped the price of cement from 900 even to, because before even the clinker it was about 700, but now after they starting the production, the clinker, it has come down, it has even gone upper to 900. But these natural resources should be able to benefit the entire nation by bringing down the prices of cement.
Lakini Peter, umeulizwa tu swali simple. Umeulizwa,
Yes.
are you
Yes.
aware watu wa Kakamega County wanafukuzwa kwa mashamba yao because of minerals? And then wewe unafanya nini ku ensure that hizi hawa watu wafukuzwi na hii mineral inafaidi hawa watu ambao ni watu wako?
Yeah, that is what
also, sorry, can I interject further so that you can answer the questions together? You've also mentioned, Salasia, that we don't have a legal framework. Are you not a lawmaker? Where do you want the legal framework to come from?
Yeah, that is why I've said that the way
Salasia, we do not want it to look like you are reporting to us. We are okay, in as much as we are your bosses, we want you to articulate issues and answer the questions as they have been tabled.
Yes. First, I say that as a lawmaker, we have failed to raise these issues. And I think this is a wake-up moment, a wake-up minute, whereby every time now I've noted, even from now, the moment I go back to the parliament, I'm also going to seek the legal counsel so that they can help draft the laws to help whether the locals and even those who are involved, so that as much as the locals, they want maybe to be encouraged to move out, how are they going to be benefited? And I've just talked with the county government of Kakamega to tell me what is happening at the moment in regarding the Ikolomani people. And what they have told me, they have not told me about the evacuation of the people. They have only told me about the contractor who was launched in months of the April, that he has started the groundbreaking. But also they are doing the capacity building in terms of encouraging people to accept the modern technology.
Mr. Peter,
Yes.
Let me just give you a
Yes.
clue of what is happening. Unajua nyinyi mnaona kani mchezo na
Yes.
sisi tumepanga, in fact next time round tunataka nyinyi MP wote mrudi nyumbani, hakuna kitu mnafanya. Now, let me just give you a clue of what is happening. The people of Ikolomani, this contractor has come here, he has said he has a budget of about 500 million of evacuating almost half of this constituency of Ikolomani. 500 million to evacuate half of the constituency. But the gold mines, in the estimated worth of this gold in Kolomani is about 300 billion. Halwale alianda quote in one of the he was giving, and he said it's worth 170 billion. It's not worth 170 billion. It's worth more than 300 billion. So I want you to understand that this contractor game wanacheza ni chafu sana. He wants to remain with about 300 billion ukitoa 500 million. That's like 299.5 billion. Hiyo ndo wanakula. And you know some of this, all of this tax is all of this money revenue they are making is untaxed. And you as a lawmaker, you are responsible for all this shit that is happening. Regardless of whether Rachel Ruto, the wife to the president of Kenya, also went there and adopted it. But we also know it's because of the gold that is there in that place called the Rosterman. You are you as a lawmaker and your other MPs are the ones who are supposed to be. Nyinyi ndio mnafaa kuna mnatupigania huko, but hakuna. I don't hear you talking about these issues. Why? What is happening? What is wrong with you?
Kwanza Peter, kabla uongee.
Yes.
Ile tourist attraction yenye nakuanga pale Mukumu, the one that is called Honga Murui, the Crying Stone. Are you aware that that thing has been already taken away by some developer? Jamaa alikuja amedanganya Kakamega County that place he's going to invest. Take over that place. Na tuna suspect that place is rich in something. Is rich in some mineral. Tuje mbona nyinyi mtusaidii bana. Nyinyi tunawapigia kura mwende mtusaidie, mnafika huko mnatusahau. That place is going. Hiyo place inachukuliwa. Na nyinyi mnaangalia tu. Hebu jibu hiyo swali Polo amekuuliza.
I think one thing that we have failed is that some of the civil societies, and you think you remember that most of the civil societies have died in this country. And are some of the things that they are the watchdog to raise some of the issues, because if I couldn't have come on this X, I could not have noted what is happening like in this Kakamega County. And I think from now, it is my duty now to go and write a question raising, asking the PS or the minister of the mining and to come and explain give us the report on what exactly is happening. But a good idea to solve the matter that is there should be that framework that tells you that if this investor is coming, if he's not going to give the money like what is needed there, if they can enter into partnership,
Eric.
and maybe once we get into a partnership, we agree that this is the sharing formula of whatever we are going to get in from there, so that at the end of the day we can come to a conclusion. And I think the X space is raising. It is now coming to be a platform that is waking up. And we know that members of parliament, we are in different committees. So sometimes, like for me, I'm in the Committee of Agriculture. So I'm more conversed with the issues to do with the agriculture. Now you find like maybe if I'm not in the mining committee, I might not be able to know what exactly is happening and all. But still, we have a leeway whereby I can also go and write and seek a statement from the House and call upon the CS to come and explain to us on what is exactly happening. But because I'm still also in Western as we speak, I will also go and check and find out what is happening, and even also the Ministry of Environment of Kakamega County, whether they know what is happening and what is their way forward.
You've mentioned something about sitting in the agriculture committee. This livestock bill 2024, the one that has been tabled by Kimani Ichung'wah, Why?
Eric,
Yes.
Perhaps before you switch off to the livestock bill, allow me to weigh in on the mining issues. This is Degwa.
Yeah, go on.
And bring Mheshimiwa up to speed and tell him that what is lacking is not the framework. I don't know whether he's aware that in 2016 we enacted the Mining Act, which gave the frameworks on how mining and minerals will be exploited. And the beginning of that act, or the basis of that act, is that all minerals are held by the national government in trust for the people of the Republic of Kenya. There is no minister, there is no government that owns those minerals. They hold them in trust for the government of the Republic of Kenya. If you are to go in Laikipia, and I had a gentleman submitting those in that regard, all minerals, whether they are on private land that is freehold or they are on leasehold, the constitution speaks or states that they belong to the people of Kenya, and the government is the one that holds them in trust. If you look at the Mining Act, it has created the avenues where local communities can benefit. And it provides that 20% of equity deliverables from those minerals are to be left in for the benefit of those particular local communities. I was involved in the Mui Coal Basin, where the government of Kenya was doing a concession with some investors in South Africa. And why the whole process failed is because of the question of sustainable development, which the Westerners keeps on bringing and lifting up. And that is the question of globalization and how globalization is affecting our development, sustainable development, and the ability to determine our own course. Why Mui Coal Basin was not able to be exploited? Why Amu Power currently in Lamu is not able to generate power is because they were to use coal. When you go to the international arena and you connect this with the question of environmental degrading and the question of global warming, they say that coal contributes to global warming and the degeneration and the wastage of environment. But you ask yourself, had it not been for that coal, the steam engine would never have ran. They would never have discovered the steam engine. So when the Westerners, when Mzungu want to develop, he uses coal. But when we Africans want to develop, we are told that coal is a dirty energy. Fast forward about the question of the benefit sharing agreement. Part of the reason why exploitation of Mui Coal Basin failed was because government was not able to agree with the investors on the benefit sharing agreement, which largely was involved in its negotiations. So when Mwashimiwa says he does not understand, when people are being exploited on day-to-day basis, when the law is providing on the basis of how to go about this issue, it tells me that we are being represented by inept people. It tells me that we are being represented in parliament by people who are incompetent. It doesn't matter whether Mweshimiwa comes from that region, whether he's a member elected from that constituency, he has an overall role of oversight. I want him to go and read a report by KPMG analysis. It was done again in 2016, and see how the KPMG have analyzed the Mining Act and the faults and the amendments that needs to be brought forth from the KPMG report. So that at the end of the day, he speaks from a point of information. If he shares his number, I'll share this KPMG report, and I'll also share it with you, Eric, so that individuals can see the potentiality that is there in our minerals and the concealment that government has done. And that's why we are saying bad governance has brought concealment of very material facts that Kenyans ought to know about. Thank you, Eric. Those are my submissions and observations in respect to the mining. The
Okay.
KPMG report is quite crucial when you want to understand the question of the mining. Thank you.
Okay. Of course, there's that petition you've put in place to impeach the presidency. You will share it with us shortly. I'm
Yes.
back to you, Polo. Do you think the questions you've been asked have been answered?
No, not quite clearly as I had expected them. They were not as clear as I wanted them to be. But nitasamehea Salasia kidogo because I understand he's Peter Salasia. Now, I want to ask Mr. Okiya Omtata a very crucial question. Mr. Okiya Omtata, I need you to tell us about what actually happened with the titanium mining and the niobium mining that is still hasn't been touched in Taita Taveta County, Pale Mrima Hills. I need you to tell us about that. And as I'm aware, Jacob Juma had actually done analysis. The media reported the niobium that was there was estimated worth yake ilikuwa around 100 billion. But in his notes, and analysis, he has written 350 billion US dollars. Please expand on that. Please tell us what is going on. If you have any information that you'd like the public to know, that would like the 28,000 listeners here, you think they'd hear, they'd want to hear. Please talk to us.
Peter, you can mute your mic. Peter Salasia.
Okiya Omtata, please talk to us.